And I always said that long distance relationships are the dumbest thing and that I would never do it. Boy, was I wrong. Roll the clip. What a dumbass. Hey, what's up, au pairs? Welcome to the first video of 2021. And if you're new here, my name is Jared and I'm a former au pair from America. Well, I au paired in America, but I'm from South Africa. In this video, I'm going to share with you my long distance relationship story, as well as give you ways in which you too can survive the long distance. Watch till the end because my last tip will probably be the one that will make your relationship the strongest. So you who's watching this video right now fit into one of two categories. Either you're thinking about becoming an au pair or you're scheduled to become an au pair and you're already in a relationship, but the thing that's holding you back is that you don't want to leave your significant other behind for a year or so. Or you form part of category number 2 where you're just like me and during your time as an au pair, you fall in love. And now you're worried about what will happen to your new relationship once your time as an au pair is up. Well, let me tell you a little story, and by the end of this video, you'll feel so much better about your situation. So I met my girlfriend, Crystal, in my second year as an au pair, and we dated for about 8 months before it was time for me to leave. The plan was that she would fly back with me on the 23rd of March, 2020. Yes, right before the shit show that was 2020. And she would come with me to meet my family and see my home country. And because of the pandemic, she was unable to do so because now there was a travel ban in place in South Africa, banning everyone except for South Africans that wanted to come into the country. We didn't think that it would be a long time before this ban was lifted, so when we said our goodbyes, it was sad, but it wasn't too sad, if you know what I mean. 10 months of doing long distance went by and she was finally able to come and visit me here in South Africa. She ended up staying for 3 weeks because her flight back was cancelled, and so I got an extra week with her, which was absolutely amazing. We will continue to do long distance until I find a way back to America where I can be with her and live there permanently. Let me first put this out there. Long distance is not fun. It is hard and you have to put in a lot of effort. But if you are committed to putting in the effort and you are both on the same page, then you can definitely make this thing work. Time zones can make a huge difference. Between South Africa and Texas, the time difference is about 7 or 8 hours, and that's dependent if daylight savings is in effect or not. The only realistic time to call would be when she was off work, which would be around midnight here in South Africa, which meant that every single night, for the most part, I would be going to bed at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. But there's not much else that we could do. Once you get into a rhythm, then things become a lot easier, and just being able to see their face and hear their voice makes the world of difference. It's weird, but you kind of get used to speaking for about an hour a day. Some calls are longer or shorter than the others, but that all depends on what you have to say about everything that happened that day. There will be times where there isn't really enough time to talk, and this would usually be on Fridays and Saturdays when one of you has plans or something. You need to remember that you both still need to live your lives, and it's not the end of the world if you don't get to speak for one day. Be understanding. You don't have to talk every single day. If you miss a day here and there, it's perfectly fine. You need to be mature and have trust in one another, because there will become times, especially if you're an overthinker like me, where you concoct these terrible thoughts in your head that are just dumb and they lead to you being upset. My advice to you is to not jump to conclusions if your boyfriend or girlfriend hasn't responded to you. But with me saying this, you guys need to make each other aware of your plans. And if you plan on going out, you need to let them know. And once you get back home, even if they're going to be asleep, just message them and say that, listen, I'm home, I'm safe. Because otherwise, that other person will wake up in the morning and see no message from you, and then they'll think the worst possible thing. It's not a control thing, but more of a respect thing. Some days you just won't have much to talk about, and it doesn't mean that your relationship is falling apart. There will also be times where one of you or both of you feel that this is never ending and this is never going to work out and you're never going to see each other again, but you need to have hope. If you can get through this, it'll make your relationship stronger than majority of the population of Earth. Your communication between each other needs to be great, not even just good. You can't be bottling up anything. If you're feeling insecure about something, you have to let the other person know. Because otherwise, when you're having a conversation one day, there'll be something small and it will just trigger the biggest blow up ever. In a normal relationship, communication is key. But in a long distance relationship, communication is everything. For those prospective au pairs who are already in a relationship and are about to head off to become an au pair, or they're thinking about becoming an au pair, don't let someone stop you from doing something which you think will do you the world of good. This is also just life advice in general. Your partner will want the best for you, and I promise you that a year in long distance is kind of like nothing. The time flies by so quickly. I mean, just think about it. This time last year, this time a year ago, I was still an au pair, and look how quickly the time has just flown by. Send gifts like flowers or other cute gifts. So I sent Crystal this canvas, and it has on it the shape of Texas and then South Africa, and there's like a line drawing it with a heart, and it's pretty cute. And then she sent me a frame, and in the frame it's what the night sky looked like on the night that we met. I'll put photos up now so that you can see what I mean. But cute gifts like this go a long way. Do spontaneous things like order them lunch from their favorite restaurant and have it delivered to them without them knowing, because they'll be so surprised and they'll absolutely love it. Do video call dinner dates. So we did this for our 1-year anniversary, which was last year, and I'll put a picture of it. It was pretty cute. Watch movies or TV shows together. So on Netflix Party, for example, it's now called Tele Party, I think. I'll put a screenshot of what it looks like. And Crystal and I do this a lot. The hardest part is just deciding on what both of you want to watch. If it is possible, then visit each other, but I know that this one can be very, very expensive. Don't listen to people who've had bad experiences with long distance relationships, or people who've never even been in a long distance relationship try to tell you that a long distance relationship won't work. It's clearly working. She was right here. It clearly works. Before you leave to start your time as an au pair, or before you leave to go back to your home country, you need to figure out a time where you're going to be calling each other and kind of have that kind of set in stone, but not really. And then once you're back and in your separate countries, then you can kind of figure out what really works and then kind of stick to that time and make it like a schedule. Before you start off your au pair journey, or before you go back to your home country, discuss with your partner of when you think will be best for you guys to talk. And then once you're back in your separate countries and kind of settled in again, then you can see, and maybe you can refine the times a little bit. But honestly, you get used to it. Be present when you guys are video calling each other, and give each other the time that you deserve. Don't be busy doing other things while you guys are talking. Make them feel as though they are a priority. There's only certain times during the day when you can speak, so just be mindful of that. Sometimes just take a step back and just to reflect on how you are treating them, and are you treating them the way that they deserve to be treated. This is also just relationship advice in general. Sacrifices will need to be made, so just be understanding and acknowledge the fact that your partner might be making sacrifices for you. For example, they might be staying up later just so that you guys can have time to speak during that day. Give a gift before you depart each other. So what I gave Crystal is, well, this is kind of like a funny story. So one of the times I went to go visit her family in Dallas, which is like 3.5 hours away from Austin where we lived, is we went there, I think it was for Thanksgiving. And so I went to see her dad, and I was drinking with her dad, and then I wanted to go get flowers for her mom. So we went to Walmart so I could go get these flowers, or go and try and look for flowers, because a lot of the places were closed. And now I've been drinking for quite a while, so I went into Walmart pretty drunk. And so we walk in there, and then I go to the station where the flowers are, and there's 2 cops there. So I was so nervous trying to pick out these flowers. But what I'm trying to get at in the story is that I got the flowers, and then while we're waiting in line, I just see a whole bunch of other things. And so I run off around in the shop while Crystal waits in the line. I come back with this huge teddy bear. I mean, this thing is big. He's big. I'll try to find a photo for you. And so I got that for her. And then we were waiting in the line even longer. And so drunk Jared runs off again, and I come back with a TV. So then I ended up buying a TV, a giant teddy bear, and flowers while I was drunk in Walmart. So the moral of the story is, don't go to Walmart drunk. But the day I was leaving, I ended up putting one of my shirts, or one of my tank tops, on the teddy bear, whose name is Chubbs, by the way. And so that was the gift that I left there with Crystal. And finally, the most important tip to having a successful long distance relationship is send nudes, baby. Send nudes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video gave you the inspiration that you needed to show you that a long distance relationship is possible, and a successful one at that. Like this video and leave a comment about your long distance relationship. I would love to read them. Subscribe if you aren't already. In my next video, I'll be answering questions that you have sent me over on my Instagram about long distance relationships. So look out for that video. Make sure you're subscribed. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.